Yo, okay, so this is going to be another little video about dating. So I went out yesterday, which was Sunday, because I was lying in bed and I thought, do you know what, I've not been out for 3 weeks and I want to go get a roast dinner, go drink some beer and do some approaches because yeah, I've not gone out in 3 weeks. Took a break for 3 weeks, so yeah, let me go and do that. So I said, don't mind if I do. So I went into central London and I approached 10 women like completely sober, which is crazy because I've not done it in about, you know, 3 weeks. I haven't done it, yeah, I haven't done it in about 3 weeks. So to do 10 just like that sober is an accomplishment, and it just really goes to show that approaching is in your DNA and it never leaves you. You know, the whole cold approaching thing. So yeah, I approached 10 women. 3 of them said they had boyfriends, and then the others were just like, some walked away, some spoke and walked away as they were talking, some said one thing and walked away. So yeah, like a lot of people say, oh, like why don't you record your approaches anymore and put them up? Because honestly, it's just the same thing. You know, it's the same beginning and it's just the same ending, just different women. So I mean, I'm surprised people would want to see more of them because it's just always the same thing. So yeah, and it's crazy how like every time you go out, you're reminded how bad it is. But it's not like you forget. Me of all people can never forget how bad dating is in this country, you know, and trying to meet women. Or me of all people, but I don't think forget is the right word. I feel like you're just reminded, even though you didn't forget, if that makes sense. You know, I don't know what other way to put it. So yeah, and it's just yeah. But surprisingly, it didn't wind me up at all. It didn't annoy me. Normally, it would. Like I'd go out, like looking my best, and you know, you'd get the same, like I have a boyfriend, or people not wanting to speak, and then you'd lose hope even more and more and more, and then it would just become like a cycle. But yesterday, it didn't wind me up at all. Which is good. But like I was saying before, you know, all of the times where it did used to wind me up, I still feel like it was justified, because obviously I've been through it more than anyone in the world, you know, trying to date and meet women and the experiences I've had. So it wasn't like it wasn't justified all the times where it did annoy me, but it was just good that it didn't annoy me this time. So yeah, yeah, I got one number out of them 10 approaches, and I went on a drink, and then yeah, I got 4 numbers all in all. And to be honest with you, even though it didn't wind me up or annoy me, it obviously would pop into my mind a few times. Well, hey, look, you know, you get these people that say, you know, you're going to meet somebody one day, you don't know what the future holds, and then obviously when you try to speak to someone, you can barely get a conversation out of somebody at the best of times, and whenever you do, it's I have a boyfriend. Even though it didn't annoy me, obviously it's something that would pop into someone's head, because it's like, hold on, they're saying one thing and you're experiencing another thing, which we're going to get back onto that in a minute. But yeah, so that's the only thing I was like sort of thinking, is like, odd, isn't it? So and yeah, like I got 4 numbers, and here's the thing, right? You know, still with a lot of these women, they have bad attitudes. Like there was one, literally, some of them were all right, obviously some of them were nice, but like there was one, and I sat down, and I tried speaking to them, and they literally just stood up and walked away. They didn't even look at me. Like they generally didn't even like look at me, and I was just thinking in my head, oh, it's a bit rude, you know. And obviously when you're getting experiences like that, and you know, when people are not really trying to talk, how are you suddenly just going to meet someone? Like, how is it that all of these things have been happening for years, but somehow people are so optimistic to think that one day it's suddenly not going to happen? It just, to me, it just seems delusional. Like I was saying on my other video, you know, there's a difference between positivity and just being delusional, because obviously the number one question would be, why hasn't it already changed? But it didn't wind me up. You know, I've accepted it for what it is now. It didn't wind me up at all. You know, I had a fun time. But and there was one as well where they said straight away, "I'm not interested," which then I replied, "Oh, like, okay, that's fine. You know, you don't have to be rude, but don't like moan when you're like 30 and you can't find anyone." Which I don't think that was me being rude. I feel like that is the truth, because a lot of the time, like a woman will get to like their 30s, and then they'll struggle to find somebody that wants something serious. So it's not even being rude, it's just a dose of reality, which I'm surprised they don't learn off of each other. And then she started saying, oh, like, walk on, and I was like, you don't talk to me like that. Like, I'm not gonna, you don't tell me what I do when I do it. So obviously you have to deal with negatives like that, which you shouldn't have to. In my opinion, you shouldn't have to deal with that. You know, it's fair enough dealing with people that don't want to talk and people saying they've got boyfriends, but I mean, why should anyone have to? I mean, like I've said before, God forbid anybody else was in my shoes having to deal with, you know, a lot of the women I've encountered over the years. God forbid what they would have done. I wouldn't even like to think of it, because I don't think they would have been as calm and patient as me. And to be honest with you, yeah, it's just like, you always get reminded how bad it is whenever you go out and you try. It's really, really, really bad, which I don't know why people make it seem like it's so easy. Like, you go on Reddit and you get all of these people that say, oh yeah, go on dating apps or try to speak to women and reta-teta-teta. Now, I could understand if they lived in somewhere like Thailand or anywhere in Asia or even South America. You know, I could be like, okay, fair enough, it's... But most of these people, they live in America, and America is probably even worse than, you know, the UK for trying to date. I mean, it's not set in stone that's worse, but one thing that is set in stone is it's not any better. Like, I've seen approaching videos, I've seen how people act, you know, I've met a lot of Americans, and safe to say it's not any better. So, I mean, I don't know where they get the idea from that it's just so easy. There's nothing easy about it. I think, like, that's the way to put it. There is nothing easy about any of it. So that's just the way it is. But they seem to make it seem like it's easy, and it's weird how none of these people on Reddit ever say that, oh yeah, you're going to encounter a lot of stuck-up women, or a lot of women are going to give you attitude. Like, no one ever says any of this stuff. They all go on like, you go out and it smells of like pink roses and everything's fine and everything's easy. It's strange. It does make you wonder sometimes. It really, really does. And again, it hasn't annoyed me at all. It's just, I feel like it's just something that's interesting to bring up. You know, people that say, you know, you're going to meet somebody one day and and then when you go out and you can barely get a conversation out of somebody, or you're dealing with somebody that's got attitude, I mean, it doesn't look good, does it? You know what I'm saying? So, it's, yeah, I mean, that's how it is. So, anyways, that's what I done yesterday. And I'm going to go text these numbers in a bit. And, yeah, just go from there. So I don't think I done bad, you know, getting 4 numbers on a Sunday, after I did go out by myself and hadn't tried for 3 weeks. So yeah, give myself a pat on the back, you know, credit where credit's due. And that's one thing you can never take away from somebody, is that when they've tried, you know. So yeah, so I'm proud of myself. Give myself a pat on the back.